Hello, welcome back to a cup of conversation with me, Nidra Simmons. I have a large cup today. I want to come on and talk about energy. Um, Last week I came on and I talked about love and boundaries, and love and boundaries are important. So please maintain that in your life. And previous, uh, um, in the past, I also talked about your ego level. Today I want to talk about your energy level. There are dangerous levels and there are safe levels, and how you should focus on keeping your energy level high. God is a God of choices. He gives us the opportunity to make the choice that we want in our life. He doesn't say you have to do this and that's it. And when I say He, I am talking about Mother, Father, Universe, God. I have been programmed to thinking that God was a He, so that's still in my vocabulary. I am still learning daily, but when I'm talking about, when I say He, I'm referring to God, and you can plug in whatever it is that works best for you. But I want to talk about the energy level, and let me first start off saying, let me give glory to God and the ancestors and the angels, all in the highest Christ-like archangels, guardian angels, and ancestors, guardian ancestors, and the whole spirit team. I want to thank you, and I just want to give you gratitude because they play an important role in our lives, especially for those who have done a lot of things on their own, coming in to realize that you're not by yourself and you didn't do these things on your own. You have God and you have your spirit team that has helped you along the way. So I always want to give gratitude to those, to them first, and to God first and foremost. But let's go back to energy. I remember coming down to North Carolina, and I came down here and I was in a developmental state. I was in a era of my life to where I was being developed, to where I was going through my middle part. Because you know, God will tell you the beginning or the in the end, but the in between, you're not going to get too much information on that. You're going to have to go through it, because if you were to be told half of the things that you was going to go through, you would not do it. So I was in my inner phase when I came down to North Carolina. I didn't understand it, um, and a lot of other people didn't understand it. And there's some that did understand but chose to ignore it. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about energy levels and how it is important to keep your energy level high. There are levels of energy, and if you are at a low level of your energy, then you are susceptible, or you're making yourself open for all of these negative spirits, people, to come into your era and to feast off of you and to keep you down. And that's not where you want to be, because we live in a world where people will go and they will, I always say with the little kids, you give them 10%, they'll take a mile. They'll take a whole 100%, 90%, and plus if they can. That's just like the people in this world. If you give them a little, they're greedy. They're going to want to take it all. So that's why it's important to love yourself. It's important to have boundaries for yourself, to know what you're going to accept and what you're not going to accept. And you have to also maintain your energy level. You need to keep yourself high. But let me not get ahead of myself. Let me go in and first of all break up the word energy. Well, before I break it up, some other words that describe energy can be, of course, energy, active, animated, power, dynamic, force, might, and strength. Some definitions of energy: a combination of their past, their mindset, their dominant thoughts, and their perception of the world, or the ability to do work, or the force, might, and power and strength. Spiritually, the definition for that is energy is a force of essence that animates living being and permeates the cosmos. Those are all different definitions of energy. And I want to show emphasis on how important it is to keep a high, safe energy level so that you won't be taken advantage of, excuse me, or you won't be the feast of the negative spirits that will just they will have a feast with you. Don't let them do it. But there were some verses that I had, and I wrote it down this time so I don't have to flip through the Bible. And you can go back and do your research. Please don't take my word for it and run off with it. Go back and do your research. But I give God the glory because we have choices. He gives us a choice. You have a choice to do right. You have a choice to do wrong. You have a choice to protect yourself. Or you have a choice not to. All right. Isaiah 40:28. And these are just brief synopsis of what these verses are. Go back again and do your own research. Isaiah 40:28. The Lord gives power to the faint and increases strength to those who have no might. If you are weak, seek God. He will give you your strength. And you can seek him in many ways. You can listen to music. You can draw. You can do art. Move your body. Get excited. Get happy. That raises your energy level. If you into exercising, go do exercises. But I like music, so I like to dance. I'm not a dancer, but I like music and I like how it makes me move, okay? And it can also be something that can help you as well. God gives strength and encourages, God gives strength and energy, and that people can renew their strength by waiting on the Lord, anticipating on God's goodness. So read the Bible, read the word. And if you're not a person that knows the Bible, like I said before, we got this thing called the internet. And it's awesome. You type in a word or two, and bam, it's going to give you some place to look. Sometimes if you're looking at the time, type in that and put verses into the Bible, into the internet. It'll give you something or a place to start. So there's always ways to get into the Bible or to get to God. If you and you can just open your mouth and talk to him anywhere that you are. In the bathroom, in the bedroom, in the kitchen, at work, in your car. It's just a conversation out loud between you and God. There is nothing blocking you to have that conversation with God. There's nothing blocking you for him to raise your energy, or mother, father, whichever way you want to put it. Also in Philippians 4:13, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. That's one of my favorites. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, because he's where I get my strength from. God has never failed me. Me as a human, I have failed myself, but God has never failed me. Seek him for your strength. You will be surprised just how quick he can change your energy level. 2 Corinthians 12:9. My grace is all you need, for my power is the greatest when you are weak. Again, when you're down, seek God. Listen to some spiritual music. Listen to the Hurts. I was introduced to the Hurts last year, and there was a person on the internet that I follow, and he had sent out the Hurts to the to some of his members that follows him, and I listened to it for the very first time, and I'm sorry, y'all. The allergies, but I listened to it for the first time, and I was amazed how relaxed it put me. That I can't remember the actual amount of hertz it was, but I listened to it and my whole body just relaxed, got numb. When I woke up, I thought I was in a spa. I thought that I was getting massage and everything. I was so relaxed. But there's things out there to help relax you and to help balance you out, to raise you back up to where you need to be so that your energy level is not low. The enemy cannot follow you or grab onto you easily if you have a high energy level. So it's important to maintain your energy level and keep it high. I can't stress it enough. People say, "Oh, you're a Christian or you're into God. You're supposed to know better." Everybody has high moments and low moments. My particular point time where my energy level was really low. Well, it was a lot in the past, but I've got it up. But it got to the lowest after I lost my husband. After I lost my husband, I was I was lost. The person that I knew growing up was no longer there. So I had to find myself all over again. And then I didn't want to be by myself. So there was a lot of things that I was battling and within myself. And then I didn't want to be by myself, and I didn't want to be a woman who had men around so that my kids can look at me differently. It was a lot of things that I was going through at that time. So I was at a real low point, and there were people out there that didn't have any problems taking me at my weak level and run with it. And I was not awake enough to realize what was going on. See, there's things that we try to get ahead of or try to not happen. Like when I lost my husband, I looked at myself as a widow and I thought, oh man, now people are going to try to take advantage of me. Men mainly will try to take advantage of me once they know that I'm a widow. That was a fear I built within myself. And that was a fear that I made into existence. And then it ended up happening. So you need to stay at a high level, because when you're weak, the enemy can have a field day in your mind. You can think one thing, and then if you're low, they're going to keep adding stuff. What about this? What about this? What about this? What about this? Before you know it, you got a whole bunch of stuff going on in your mind. I hope that what I'm saying is clear. I hope that you understand what I'm saying, because it is important and it is helpful to others. I use myself as an example because I can show you better because I've overcame. And what better way to show somebody something if you're able to explain to them what you've gone through and how you've overcome it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sharing this not to make myself look weak. By no means. I'm not weak. Trust and believe. I'm a strong black woman. Okay? I am using this because I have a heart of God and I want to help others, because I also know what it's like to go through things in life by yourself. Well, without the fleshly people there. Not by yourself, because you always have God in your spirit team. But for those who are looking for that fleshly person to be there to help them overcome these hurdles, they're not there. Partly because they've never gone through it themselves, or they just don't care about you that much to want to help you. Whatever the reason being. But I'm just here to help. All right, so let me go back. I kind of went out, but let me come back. All right, I left off at Corinthians. 2 Corinthians would say, my grace is all you need, for my power is the greatest when you are weak. Nehemiah 8:10. Do not grieve, for the joy of the Lord is your strength. God is your strength. Do not take him for granted. Do not think that he can't help you. Excuse me. He can and he will. Trust and believe that God exists. He's in you. And everything that you need as an individual is in you. You can communicate through God within. You can talk to him without. But it's best to talk to him within. Because if you talk out loud, you have the enemy that's going to take what you're saying to him and run with it. If you keep it within, it's between you and God. Nobody can take it. He's still going to get it. And he can still help you and raise your energy level. Philippians 2:14, which encourage people to avoid arguing and complaining. Christ is our peace. All right, let's go to Hebrews. And I'm throwing a lot of stuff at you because I don't want to make it too long, because you might not stay through the whole video. I want you guys to look at these videos and to get the whole gist of it, because it's something that's going to be helpful to many. All right, Hebrews 12:1, which encourage people to lay aside rewind. Hebrews 12:1, which encourage people to lay aside sin and run with endurance. Do not fight evil with evil. Love one another. Love is important. Maintain your boundaries and stay at a high energy level. These are tools. that can help you. Colossians 1:28 and 29. Well, I'm just going to focus on the 29. But Colossians 1:29, which describes it describes Paul's labor with all his energy. When I read the book of Paul, I read the book and I'm like, okay, he did a lot of stuff. And then he was turned around and he did the right stuff. And then when he got the right stuff, he just kept getting hit in the head with the rocks. They kept throwing stones and rocks at him. I'm like, wow. He endured. He changed. He endured, and he realized that God is an awesome God, and He is worth serving, and He is who He said He is, God. But when I read his book, I was reminded about when I was younger. When I was younger, and this leads to how my energy level was low. I used to go visit my grandmother, and I had an aunt that had a friend that had a daughter. And we went to my grandmother's house, and we went outside. My grandmother said, go outside. So I went outside with the other girl, which was a friend at the time. And I don't know her now because it was long ago since I last spoke to her. But anyway, we went outside, and these boys started throwing rocks at us. And I was like, oh, gosh, why are you throwing rocks at me? We just want to say hi. I didn't know at the time that when boys throw rocks at you, whatever the case might be, that may show signs that they like you. Or they could just be bad boys and mean. Well, either way, excuse me. One moment, please. Either way, plead the blood of Jesus. Either way, them kids they put a mark on me. They made me feel so bad. And that badness lingered with me for a very long time. So when I read the book of Paul, I was like, okay, Paul, I know how that feels. Excuse me. One moment, please. The enemy's fighting me on this one, huh? Or I could just be coughing. Either way. That was an experience for me. All right, I kind of sidetracked, and I'll get back to where I'm supposed to be. But Paul had endured a lot. He had gone through a lot of things in his life that he could have kept his energy level low. He didn't stop. He kept going. He kept talking about God. He kept, spreading the good news, despite how he felt, despite all the harm that the other people did to him. He still fought his way forward to do the will of God and to maintain his energy level, to say hi. All right, let's go back to the book. All right, that was Colossians. Let's talk about Ephesians 6:10, which encourage people to be strong in the Lord. God is your strength. Seek God. There is things out here to help you seek God. There's meditation, there's spiritual music, there's gospel music, there's true God-loving people in the church, some. And there's just people that God put in your life, period. All right, 2 Timothy 2:1, which encourages people to be strengthened by the grace of Christ Jesus. All right, I wanted to go in and look at this one and read it to you. This one was Psalms 62, and it's verse 1 and 2. Psalms 62, verse 1 and 2. It says, Truly my soul silently waits for God. From him comes my salvation. He only is my rock and my salvation. He is defense. I shall not be greatly moved. If you receive that peace from God, and it passes all understanding, you're not going to want to move from that. You're going to want to keep that. Another one I want to read to you. And I apologize for all the coughing. But I too shall go on. All right, this one is coming from Isaiah 40, verse 28 and 29. Have you not known, have you not heard, the everlasting God, the Lord, the creator of the ends of the earth, neither faints nor is weary. His understanding is unsearchable. He gives power to the weak, and to those who have no might, he increases their strength. I hope you're picking up the theme of this message. Do not keep a low energy level. Do what you can to raise your energy level. That is important and is needed. All right. Okay, so if your energy is low, then the capacity to do work or the ability to make things change or move for better or worse is determined by your energy level. I hope I got everything in that I wanted to talk about. But just to sum everything up, it is important to love yourself. It is important to maintain boundaries, to protect your heart. There's nothing wrong with maintaining boundaries in a relationship or in a marriage, because there are two individual people coming together as one, but that does not mean lose yourself in the process. Do not lose yourself in the process of a relationship. Do not lose yourself in the process of a marriage. Do not lose yourself because your energy level is low. Maintain your high energy level. I would play some music, but I got a mark on one of the internet because I played the music and I explained that it wasn't mine, but I won't put it on right now. But I'm telling you as a helpful way to increase your energy level. There's other ways, but it's not. Don't eat all that food to raise your energy level, because then you're going to have to find a way to get all that weight off your body. But you want to maintain a high energy level by loving yourself, by maintaining boundaries, by keeping your spirit high. Listen to music, read the word, have a conversation with God. You can talk to people, but don't tell your business, because a lot of people will use that against you. So your safe bet is to just talk to God, talk to within, to Him. And you know you can never go wrong, because man, they'll fail you every time. It don't take much. It don't take much for people to get jealous over other people, not knowing the battles that they went through to get to where they are. Do not envy or be jealous of nobody, because you do not know what they had to go through to get to where they are. So please, again, the whole purpose of this conversation is to remind you to love yourself. It is to remind you to maintain and keep your boundaries, to protect your heart, no matter if you're in a relationship, you're married, your children, whatever relationship. Do not lose you. And do not let your energy level stay low. Because if it's low, then that is when the enemy will come in and have a field day with you. Stay happy, stay proud. Do what feels good as long as it's right within God's will for your life. So until next time, I hope I said something that was helpful. I hope my message was clear. Have a wonderful day. Peace.